Hi guys, this is like the umpteenth time I've done this. It's White Witch 110 here on Thursday, which I thought was Wednesday earlier. Then I was corrected. So tomorrow's Friday. Yay! We're supposed to have a really crappy weekend. And that's not good, but so hubby and I are getting groceries done tonight and tomorrow so that we don't have to go out in it. Now, today at work, someone was saying they went looking for my channel and they couldn't find it. So I had to explain the name and how they were supposed to type it out. So hopefully this person has done that, because I told them I'm going to mention you. So that person is Patrick O'Keefe, and you best be watching this. Comment below if you are, and I will be quizzing you tomorrow to make sure you watched the entire thing. Hubby and I joke around with him when he comes in to the building for maintenance issues and such. He's a good guy. I was going to say gentleman, but I don't know. I don't know. That's all in a friendly joke. Okay. So tonight, movies filmed in Canada. Picked out a few of them, which I was surprised I didn't know they were done here. Years ago, you could tell the ones that were done here because they were so poorly made. That would be in the 70s. So the first one I was really surprised is Twilight. It was filmed in Vancouver in 2008. The next one is Good Will Hunting. That was filmed at the University of Toronto and at Central Technical School. Now, that was in 1996. My brother attended Central Tech, that's what we called it. Extreme moons ago, long time ago. And an alternative school that I attended had portables there. And that is the location where I messed up my neck by trying to do a handstand, kicking up against a wall. I wasn't even 100 pounds back then. And girl was supposed to be spotting me, turned her head to see who was coming in. And I promptly went right down the wall. Didn't go to the doctors, went the week later. Doctor was upset with me, of course. Not much they could do. I'd get arthritis in it, and that's coming in now. That's when I was 17. Holy moly. Okay. Mean Girls was filmed at Melbourne Collegiate and Etobicoke Collegiate in 2004. Now, Melbourne Collegiate, I don't know if they still do, but their band used to play in the Toronto Santa Claus Parade. Billy Madison was filmed at Northern Secondary John Ross Robertson Jr. Public School, as well as Parkwood Estate in Oshawa and Stouffville, and that was in 1995. Blades of Glory used the Montreal Olympic Stadium and the Olympic Village to film in 2007. The Incredible Hulk in 2008 used Yonge Street, which I believe is the longest street in the world. That's in Toronto. Toronto's Eaton Centre and the University of Toronto. Catch Me If You Can was filmed in Montreal and Quebec City, and that was in 2002. Capote was filmed in Winnipeg and Selkirk Mountains, also using Stony Mountain Institution, Manitoba Legislative Building, and Gilbart's Funeral Home in 2005. In 2002, Toronto's Danforth was used for the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Now, the Danforth is known as Greek town, and the food there is amazing. And they have a Greek festival there too, but I can't remember exactly when it is in the summer. Now in 2005, Brokeback Mountain was filmed in Calgary and Fort Macleod. In 1982, First Blood, filmed in locations in Golden Ears Provincial Park, Pitt Lake, Pitt Meadows, and Hope, British Columbia. And my brother lives in Pitt Meadows. Cool Runnings was filmed in Calgary in 1993. I like that movie. And the movie Chicago made use of Osgood Hall, Queen's Park, the Elgin Theatre, Union Station, and many more sites in Toronto for filming in 2002. The Day After Tomorrow was filmed in Toronto and Montreal in 2004. It is the highest grossing Hollywood film to be made in Canada. Other movies filmed here were Black Christmas, Strange Brew, and I was surprised, even Titanic in 1997. That was a surprise. Now, Canadian personalities. Everybody should know this gentleman, and I know half the time I pronounce the last name right, half the time I don't. But it is Michael Bublé. He was born Michael Stephen Bublé on September 9th, 1975. He was born in Burnaby, BC. Now, he is a Canadian-Italian singer, songwriter, actor, and record producer. His first album in 2005, It's Time, made the top 10 in Canada and the UK. His second album in 2007, Call Me Irresponsible, reached #1 in Canada, the UK, USA, Australia, as well as several European music charts. Crazy Love in 2009 debuted at #1 on the Billboard charts. It remained there for 2 weeks. It also claimed #1 on Top Jazz album charts. His Christmas album was also #1 on the Billboard charts for the final weeks of 2011 into 2012. And it also made the top 5 in the UK. To Be Loved in April 2013 sold 75 million worldwide. He has won 4 Grammy Awards and multiple Junos. Junos are the equivalent of the Grammys here in Canada. Now, his father fished for salmon, and his mother was a stay-at-home mom. Or as they used to call it back then, a housewife. He has 2 younger sisters. One is an author and the other is an actress. Oops. He dreamed of being a singer since he was 2 years old, and he would go to bed with his Bible and pray to become a singer. His family realized that he could sing at the age of 13. Bublé also had an interest in becoming a hockey player with the Vancouver Canucks. At 14, he spent his summer as a commercial fisherman with his father. He said it was the most deadly physical work he had ever known. His first singing engagements were at nightclubs at 16. These were arranged by his grandfather on his mother's side. His grandfather was a plumber, and he often exchanged his work for Bublé to perform on stage. He also paid for him to have singing lessons. His entertainer name as a child was Mickey Bubbles. I don't think I would admit to that. That's just embarrassing. He grew up listening to jazz greats like the Mills Brothers. At 18, he won a talent contest only to be disqualified for being underage. In 1996, Michael appeared on Mortal Challenge and an episode of The X-Files. 1997, he was in the documentary Big Band Boom on Bravo. He became a regular on the TV talk show Vicky Garbanot. He appeared with Jan Arden and Elvis Costello in 2005 for her final show. He became engaged to actress Debbie Timmis, but their engagement ended in November 2005. He dated an English actress, Emily Blunt, in 2005. Their relationship ended July 2008. Next, he dated and became engaged to an Argentine actress, Luisa, I'm not even going to pronounce the last name, in November 2009. They were married in Buenos Aires in March 2011, and they have 3 children, Noah, Elisa, and Vida. Bublé has given $50,000 to the Black Saturday bushfires to help the victims in February 2009 of the bushfires. When his son Noah was diagnosed with cancer, he canceled his tour to be at home with him. His son has now recovered. Now this person I knew none of you are going to know at all, but he is my most favorite of all time singers, and he goes by his last name of Zappacosta. He was born Alfredo Peter Zappacosta in 1953 in Sora, Italy. He is a singer-songwriter. His first band was Surrender back in the late 70s. In 1984, he recorded his first self-titled album. That year, he won a Juno for Most Promising Male Vocalist. The following year, he was part of the Tears Are Not Enough, which was when the Americans and also the British performed those songs, and then all of the money went to charity. His second album, A to Z, in 1986, I love that album. This album produced hits When I Fall in Love Again and Nothing Can Stand in Your Way. This was followed by his song Overload, which was featured on the biggest selling soundtrack of the 80s, Dirty Dancing. In 1990, his third album, Quick Don't Ask Me, was released. At this point, he took various acting gigs on stage. He was also in the Canadian movie Halo in 2005. Alfie has never felt comfortable with his acting. Matter of fact, when I met him at a charity concert, and I mentioned that I had seen him on Dave Gervais, he basically said that his acting was shit. I told him, no, it's good. In 2007, he released a rework of some of his classics and called it Start Again. In 1987, he appeared on Canadian TV show Danger Bay in the episode called Rockstar. Now that's where I first heard him, flicking through the stations on the old converter. He had to push buttons. Heard his voice, went back. When I found it, I was like, oh yeah. And then when I seen him, I was like, oh my God, he's so gorgeous. But his voice, I love it. He lost his wife, Sunny, on June 24th of 2012. Now, going back to when he was younger, his parents had moved to Toronto when he was 6 months old. He played his first guitar at the age of 9, and he also wrote for people in Ontario. He is the one who wrote and sang the Pizza Nova commercial. I don't even know if they have Pizza Nova anymore. In 1994, he moved his family to Edmonton for a better life away from the scene in Toronto. Now, when he lived in Toronto, not when he was in the apartment, but when he was in the house, he lived down the street from my friend's sister. We didn't know it, but when we were told that, we hung out at the park across the street with her nephew, and sure enough, there he came out of the house. Did we go back again to watch and wait and that? No. Don't know why. He played the lead in Jesus Christ Superstar and in Hair and Evita. In 1996, he was in intensive care with pneumonia resulting from pancreatic cancer. He is now fine. He has 2 grown children, Carly and Cooper. Now I remember when he was at Ontario Place, when Carly was just young, holding her up, showing her all of us there, and telling her that all of this was for her. A beautiful moment for a dad and his daughter that I was lucky enough to overhear. Now, as a child, he wanted to be a pilot and then a hairdresser like his father. Elvis says he wants to perform till the day he dies. He'd be on stage singing, and then there you go. Now, it was difficult to find information on him. And I remember hearing that he had a pacemaker, but I couldn't find any information on that part for some reason. I don't know why, but I couldn't. I could give you guys a story tonight too. It's called How Many Lives? She stood alone that morning, staring out across the lake. She was lost in her thoughts, so far away from where she actually was. Nothing seemed to faze her. The wind had picked up, causing whitecaps on the water surface. Her hair was tossed in every direction. She dug her hands deeper into her coat pockets. She squinted against the wind, feeling abandoned yet again. Her pain has eased the past few days since he drove out of her life. She had only herself to listen to. She spoke out across the water in what began as a whisper. Slowly she spoke louder until it was almost a scream. She had given her life to him. She had lost and found herself in him. Those nights of romance and intense passion meant nothing anymore. She had been one of many he had disrespected. The water began to call to her. It was insisting she come and enjoy. Her face streaked with tears, she took the plunge, clothes and all. The icy cold enveloped her like a tight embrace. She allowed herself to float. Suddenly, she felt a strong, warm grip on her shoulder. She was being pulled to shore. She awoke hours later, after the sun had set. A fire roared, emitting heat into the cabin. No one else was there. Who had grabbed her out of the water? Where was this person now? Had he returned feeling guilty, knowing where to find her? Her eyes adjusted to the dim light. By the fire in the armchair sat a man, but it wasn't him. He spoke without opening his mouth. He questioned her motive to take such drastic measure. He was not worth it, he told her, in his sweetest way. His face was young and rugged. She inquired as to where he had come from and how he knew where to find her. He now faced her, holding his hands out. He had always been here, but she had never bothered to see him. His love for her was deeper than any mortal she knew. She knew the face, but couldn't place it. Where had she seen him? Look deeper, my love, he seemed to say. She sat and thought deeply. A fragment of her memory surfaced. It was a memory that couldn't be hers, but it was. She seen herself with him at this very location, but in a different cabin. There was snow on the ground, and the time was different. Their clothes were different. She lifted her head in question. He took her hand. Yes, it was us. No, you're still alive, but I'm the ghost. He went further to explain he was coming back, and they would be together again. This time it would last. 2 weeks after, a roofer came to patch the roof over the mudroom. When their eyes met, she knew right away. The stranger smiled and answered her question. Yes, it was him. He sat with her and went into great detail. Her heart melted, and his touch was familiar. He explained their lives have been spent together only to be pulled apart. This was their time. No more chasing through the decades to acquire their happiness. It was here. What was made to be so long ago was now coming to pass. On Christmas Eve they were married, and now spend eternity together by the warming fireplace with his arms around her. She leans into his shoulder, finally content. And that's it for tonight. I'm almost finished. I will have to show you later when it's totally finished. That'll probably be tomorrow. Or I might do an add to this one later. So, hope you enjoyed tonight. I have some other interesting ones for you later. I still have some of my cleaning adventures to tell you about. And what else do I have here? I have this paper set. Hazel McCallion, you won't know, but you'll like her story. For those of you who are maybe from Toronto, there's Ed Mirvish. He's a very interesting gentleman. The Dragon Boat Festival. Spark Street Mall. The Victoria Memorial Museum. And William Lyon Mackenzie King. You've heard his name before. And the CN Tower. I've just started looking into information on that. So to my loyal subscribers, thank you very much for dropping in this evening. And for those of you just passing through, feel free to check out my other videos. If you like what you see, please consider giving a thumbs up. Share it out if you think someone else would enjoy it. Leave a comment, especially you, Patrick. I will get back to them. I always do. Consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload. And until tomorrow night, have a great Friday, and ciao for now. Well, here it is. It's finished. But you can see where the different leaves are by how much darker they are. So I'm not sure if I like this or not. And then you can see right through the other. I'm not sure. Big question mark on that one. Big question mark. We'll see. We shall see. There it is in the light. Like this, it looks pretty. I don't know. You could put candy in there, maybe? I don't know. Yeah. These are the ones that are coming out dark. And whoops. These are the ones that you can see through. But it's just trial and error. I tried it. I'm not 100% with it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That is Alfie Zappa Costa in his 30s, probably. Yeah, his 30s. Ain't he gorgeous? Most tunnels. Let's see. Oh, he's been going through. We have him on the other side of the building too. He's been a busy little guy. Or girl. They're so cute. Yikes.